Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Blessings to you all. Come on in. We're just going to fellowship, talk about a few things. Come on in. God blessings to you. Blessings to your family. We're just going to fellowship, talk about a few things. If you had any predictions or prophecies or things to come, we can add you on as well. Come on in, you guys. Blessings to you all. Blessings to your family. God bless you all. Welcome. Whether or not if anybody, sees this video or even hear this video, but there is some critical key things, that we must reveal to the people, because when something's about to happen, when something's about to transpire, God makes sure that his people knows about it. And not only do they know about it, but they position themselves to a place to where that we are prepared, for it. The scriptures do declare that when God allows something to happen, or something's gonna happen, or something's gonna take place, he reveals it. And so, just want to talk about that for a few moments, right? Talk about some of the technologies that exist out there that we as regular people don't know nothing about. We're going to be talking about a little bit of science, a little bit of technology, and spirit, right? Science, technology, and spirit. Because there is some things happening in the spirit realm as well. and it's like they are preparing for something huge, right? They in the spirit realm, they are literally, you guys, preparing for something huge. Now, what exactly it is as it relates to reality or the practical details of it, I don't know. But what I do know and what I've seen, or rather heard, or rather remember, is that one of the biggest things that we are about to see is the merger of biology, technology, and spirit. One of the biggest things that we will see going forward and moving forward, right? It's the merger of biology, technology, and spirit. And God bless you as you come in and share, tag, and invite. So one of the things is the merger of biology, technology, and spirit. And biology simply means the body, right? Biology simply means the body, right? Technology simply means machine. And spirit simply means the invisible, right? And so these three are soon going to develop a symbiotic relationship one with another. And it's very important that we get that we know that we hear that, right? So when we talk about the merger of biology, technology, and spirit, it's a relationship that first it's going to be the technology that we have, or that we are that is about to be revealed. That technology is going to be revealed, or is being revealed, by a spiritual being, right? A being that Satan or Hasatan or Lucifer employed within his ranks, which was given to him by God the Most High, to make sure that he carried out his plans when he was in direct service to the Most High. This being that we're talking about is the being that is responsible for the technology or the technological advances that we've been accustomed to. But here soon, and very soon, or sooner than we can ever imagine, these technologies will seem like that they have come further than any other time. So the Spirit of the Lord is showing me that this being, this entity, this force, or for lack of a better term, we'll use the word angel, because again, any force or any being outside of our comprehension, we label that being angel, even though that being is not an angel as it relates to our understanding of what an angel is. Angel is just the word, but this being, this entity, this force is responsible for technology. And we are about to see an highly advance in technology. But this technology does not come without a great price. Just as in the first century or predating the first century, people used to have to go to a crossroads, right? Or an environment that's highly spiritual environment or spot. The crossroads was a highly spiritual spot, right? And people used to go there and summon spirits, summon forces, and summon beings to grant them special things, right? And at the crossroads, this being, this malevolent being would show up. We're just talking, you guys. This malevolent being would show up. And this malevolent being would make sure that you fully are aware of what you're doing. One of the things that these malevolent beings are responsible for is to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. And so this malevolent being would show up at the crossroads, and at the crossroads was the place to where, you know, if you had, and no one, and let me say this, not anyone could summon these beings, these forces, these entities. I don't want you to believe that anybody can just go summon these forces and summon these beings. You would, in order to be able to summon these forces of beings, it don't matter if you get all the ingredients correct and you line them up properly. Not anybody, because the main ingredient of summoning these beings, these invisible forces, or rather, for lack of a better term, these angels, is your soul energy, right? Your soul energy, right? Your soul energy. Whether anybody knows this or not, understands this or not, your soul energy is what's necessary or what's needed to summon these beings. And if your soul energy was low vibrational or low frequency or low power, you wouldn't and couldn't have the ability to summon these beings, right? And if you would go to the crossroads and your soul energy was low frequency, low vibrational, low power, 9 times out of 10, you would summon something that will possess you, summon something that will kill you. In fact, there are low vibrational entities, low vibrational beings that exist on this plane, or rather in between planes, that waits for low vibrational beings or low vibrational entities that believe that they can summon forces to operate, function, and flow on their behalf. And they exist in between the spirit realm, you know, and the physical realm, right? And if you had low soul energy, if you had low vibrational energy, low frequency, then you would grant access to these beings, and they would come and you wouldn't be able to control them. If one thing that you must understand, about the times that we are coming into, there's a lot of information out there, right? And a lot of this information is lacking in certain aspects of key ingredients to truly understand what they are doing. Most people are delving into occult practices without even knowing the cost of these occult practices, that they are operating and functioning in. So we're just talking, you guys. We're just fellowshipping, right? And I'm just, just opening up and, revealing some things. And you can stay to listen, or you can bail out, but I got to get these things out, and so when you are at the crossroads, and we're talking about the crossroads, it's very important that you truly understand the crossroads. And so if you were low vibrational soul energy, your soul energy was low, you would summon something, but it wouldn't operate for you. It wouldn't function for you, and it'll be tethered to you. But it would feed on your low vibrational energy, and it'll wreak havoc, in your homes. It'll wreak havoc in your place of business. And the sole function of these low vibrational frequencies, or these low vibrational beings, is because they're feeding on your low vibrational soul energy. That's why they run amok. And most of us don't know that. Most of us don't get that. That's why it's so important to understand rank. That's why it's so important to understand power. That's why it's so important to understand authority. And not everybody is of a high caliber of rank and frequency. That's why even Christ talked about rank. When he talked about the talents, some 30, some 60, some 100-fold, that dealt with rank. Okay? And now I know you're saying, oh, no, we're all the same. It dealt with rank. Some 30, some 60, some 100-fold. It dealt with rank. Meaning there is rank. Even when the Spirit of God was talking through Paul said it himself. He said, there are differences among you. There are differences among you. And you have to know the differences among you. You really do. Because you don't want to be going and diving or digging off into the spirit realm and not truly get your rank. That's the most dangerous thing that a leader can do, is to tell you that you have rank in the spirit, and you go off trying to act as if you do have rank in the spirit, and you have no rank in the spirit, and you end up manifesting a malevolent being, and this malevolent being begins to start wreaking havoc on your family. This malevolent being begins to start wreaking havoc on everything, and it's fully operational and it's fully functional based on your low vibrational energy. Now, we just revealing some things and opening up some things for you, because this season, and I won't say 2024, I'm going to say this season, I don't know what it is about this season, but this is about to be the most spiritual season that you can ever imagine, because there will be a merger of biology, technology, and spirit. And when you can merge biology, technology, and spirit, it's on and popping, for lack of better words. It's going to be on and popping, you guys, because now these higher beings will be able to have access into this paradigm, right? Into this dimension, so again, the crossroads was all about how much soul energy you had. And they would sit up and wait for powerful and strong carriers of this soul energy. And they would wait for someone with strong enough soul energy, and they would help them, and they would grant them wishes, like a genie. And most of your artists, most of your big companies, most of your food companies, most of your corporations are the byproduct of someone within the family with enough soul energy to be able to maneuver or cause one of these entities and beings and forces to work for them. Even preachers, there are some preachers that has been handed stages by their families, and they themselves don't even know that the stages that they are standing on are the byproduct of one of their family members who has enough soul energy, and they are allowing these malevolent, powerful beings to have access into this dimension, into this parallel, this universe, And so it's important as well as relevant that we start to begin to truly understand, overstand the spirit world. Because we have gotten so lackadaisical that it's all about how many people you can get to clap, how many people that you can get to shout and dance and pass out, that we forget that there is truly a spirit realm. And there's truly rank within this spirit realm. And most people don't really carry or harness enough soul energy in order to be able to bring something into this dimension, into this realm, and to not only bring it into this realm, but to be able to harness it and to be able to control it and to be able to get it to do what you need it to do. And scientists don't even know that most of the things that they are studying, that they don't really truly have answers to, are all the byproduct of this invisible realm, right? And what we know as the term we call angel, angels, that's just our term for these beings. These two are soul entities or soul forces, and everybody vibrates at a frequency, right? And that frequency that you vibrate at, or rather your faith, let's use the terminology that we truly understand. You have a certain amount of forces and beings and entities that operate, function, and flow based on your soul energy, right? That's why the scriptures declare to us that what does it profit for a man, a physical being, to gain the whole world, but yet in that process he loses his soul? Why? Because these things, these forces, these beings, these entities, they require your soul. That's why when you go into a service and people are truly needing deliverance, I mean like real deliverance, and God allows you to minister within that service, and when you get out of that service, it seems as if as though you get sick. It seems as if as though you get tired. It seems as if as though that stuff start to break down around you. And you don't realize why, and you don't know why. Why? Because the beings and the forces that operate, function, and flow on your behalf there's a requirement. There's a payment. Now, the Bible or the book won't talk about this requirement. It won't talk about this payment. Right? And the reason why it doesn't talk about this payment or this requirement is because we are supposed to be operating by the Spirit, or we supposed to be moving by the authority and the power of God's energy. And God's force and God's energy is his Spirit. It's his Spirit, truly, operating and functioning and flowing with your spirit, to be able to heal the sick, to be able to raise the dead, to be able to operate in the Spirit. There's a payment that's required. Bible doesn't talk about that a lot, but there's a payment that's required. Salvation, the payment has already been paid. God has infinite power, infinite authority, infinite everything. And so the payment, although was high, but it's been paid. And his energy, his power, your salvation is empowered by the energy of God, by the power of God, by the might of God, by the authority of God. And that's why no one can separate us from the love of God in Christ. And Christianity don't truly get these principles because they are not really walking by the Spirit. And so when you go to these conferences and these leaders have real authority, real power, it is God's Spirit operating and functioning and flowing with your spirit. And y'all work hand in hand in dispelling some of these forces that, for lack of judgment, that we have called into our lives unknowingly. A lot of times when we speak, we don't understand the power of our words. We have real power in our words. Some 30, some 60, some 100-fold. And you could say something very basic, something very minor, and not know that you just activated a force to operate, given that force authenticity to operate and to flow based on the words that has came out of your mouth. Now we're talking, and I want to make sure that everybody, that hears these messages, you truly get it. That's why most of these religions that have been around a long time, they take vows of silence. They make you take vows of silence, for a season, because in the process of helping you to restore your soul energy back to its rightful place, there requires a season where you shut up. There requires a season for you to be quiet. There requires a season for you to speak as little as possible. We're just talking about some harsh realities and some harsh truths that we have not been able to hear because we haven't had ears to hear these kind of truths, right? And so that's how the crossroads operate. That's how the crossroads function and flow. Normally, you have enough soul energy and you're able to bring something into this dimension. And because that being recognizes that you have enough soul energy, so it will prostitute itself to you, but it will feed on your soul energy. And when it takes enough of your soul energy, if you don't have a way to, if you keep on asking for things, it'll feed and take of your soul energy. That's why it's so very important to know these things. That's why people who do a lot of healing, do a lot of deliverance, and do a whole lot of these things, you know, they don't realize that there's a payment that's required to be a disciple. The payment is required to be a disciple, right? So now as we begin to fast forward, and as I begin to see things in the spirit, with the merger of biology, technology, and spirit, right? They are going to create this chip, you guys. If they have it already, I don't know. I know they're going to be able to create a chip, or they already have or harnessed enough energy through the technology that was given to them by this ancient being or this ancient force. And this chip is going to be offered up to the public, and it's going to be revolutionary. It's not going to come across as something that's going to take something from you, but it's going to come across as something that's going to make you be able to harness the energy around you. It's going to be able to harness the power around you. Why? And because just like the natural world, trees, birds, things that operate, bees in the natural realm, they harness the energy around them. They are able to fly. Now, I know scientists have their definition on why they're able to fly and why they're able to do the things that they're doing, but they harness the technology around them. All things in nature harness the technology that's around them. Plants, everything in nature harnesses the technology around them. Well, what I've seen thus far is that they will create a chip, and this chip will be able to harness the invisible technology around us, because there's technology around us all the time, but we just don't know it and we can't see it. But there are some people, who have enough soul energy and they have the ability to see it. They don't know what they're seeing. They just think ghosts and, spooky things. But there's technology all around us, That's why when you see some ships, or UPCs or UFOs, and it seems like they're maneuvering in crazy patterns and in crazy ways, it's because they're harnessing the technology that's around us. And so for the future, we can begin to expect them to create technology where we will be able to harness the technology. And so what does this mean? What does this mean when we will have the ability to harness technology? Well, unfortunately, we saw a future where they will be flying cars. I saw a future where there will be flying people. The people will be flying. Not on TV, not because they have some kind of computer strapped to their backs. People are going to be flying. And I'm not talking about in jets and airplanes. I'm talking about literally flying, because they are going to be able to harness the technology that is being created. This is this is going to be a revolutionary breakthrough. Not only will they have the ability, this technology, not only will they have the ability to fly, but they'll be able to phase in and out of, let's say I'm in Texas and I have this technology and I'm being taught by this technology and I'm learning this technology. I'll be able to phase in and out from Texas, to New York. Now, the ancient civilization they had this ability without technology because it was by natural gifts. We've killed our natural gifts. We've killed our natural gifts. And anybody who presents natural gifts, they come up missing, they disappear, and they bring back a clone, right? So let's say if your child has natural gifts, natural talents, they'll take your child and bring back a clone. And you think that's your child, but that's not your child. That's a clone. Your child gone. And they're reverse engineering the gifts of your child. And you don't know the difference because, again, it's a child, you know? And so what we're going to see is technology that will mimic gifts, that will mimic talents, natural gifts and natural talents. But it will be the byproduct of biology, technology, and spirit. And so this technology will not only allow us to fly, but it would also mean rapid healing. It would also mean strength. It would also mean that I can survive anywhere, everywhere. It'll give me the ability to operate off planet, because the whole concept of this technology is that they know this technology will be their Babel. Okay? Okay? So this technology will be their Babel. It will be equivalent to the Tower of Babel. It will be equivalent to the Tower of Babel. And you say, well, what was the Tower of Babel? What was the Tower of Babel, right? Now, we have our stories in the Bible. We have our stories in every culture. But what was Babel in real life? What was Babel in real life? We're just fellowshipping and talking, you guys. What was Babel in real life? Well, Babel was the byproduct of different people, different clans, all around the known world at that time, coming together and saying, hey, this being, this force, killed us all. Right? And so we need to construct something, build something, and design something that if this force tries to do what it did the last time to take us out, we would be able to reach this being. We would be able to reach this force. Or if we don't have the ability to reach this force, but we would have the abilities of this force. Babel was a place or design, a thing design that it was equivalent to the force or the power of God. Now, I know we read the Bible and it's very vague and it's very unclear about this tower. But what would make God of God, King of King, Lord of Lord, come down, look at this thing that they designed, look at this thing that they built, and say that nothing is impossible for these people when they come together, because they had designed something that would give them God-like abilities. These people had said to themselves that if this being or this force of this entity ever were to flood this region again, this tower will symbolize or act as our force against God's judgment. Because again, the floods was the byproduct of disobedience, right? Again, the floods were the byproduct of disobedience. And again, and it may not be your disobedience. It may be somebody else's disobedience in your family and your bloodline. But the floods were the byproduct of disobedience. And there will always be something that you empower by your disobedience. Disobedience always empowers something negative. Disobedience always empowers negative forces. Okay, you guys? Disobedience always empower negative forces. Always. And so Babel was this place that said, we have the ability and the power of God now. And so if this being, so now because we have the Tower of Babel, we can do what we want to do, however we want to do it. And that's how people are treating grace. Because we have grace, grace is such a powerful force. Now we can do whatever we want to do, however we want to do it. And that was the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel, in the light of our understanding, it was a place, a force, it was a beacon that, hey, we're smarter than you, we're wiser than you, we're better than you. And so we can do whatever we want to do now. That was the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was the representation in this context that we can do whatever we want to do now. Now we don't have to listen to you because we've constructed and designed something that can overcome your judgment. Did you catch that? I want you to get that. I want you to hear that. I need you to get that. We've designed something that overcome your judgment. And so this is what the modern day technology is all about. Modern day technology is about finding a way to overcome God's judgment. To overcome God's judgment. And they don't call him God, but they know that there's a force here that exists that when you try to overstep your boundaries, this force releases judgment. You know, they're going to start seeing this judgment. So modern day technology is about finding a way to overcome God's judgment. This is what Babel was about. Babel was a technology. Babel truly was a technology that the people harness so that they can operate, function, and flow in disobedience at will and not have to fall under the jurisdiction of judgment. They could just harness this technology. They could just harness Babel. Well, something's happening, something's coming. Okay, let's harness the technology of Babel. Let's harness this technology. And even in our modern age, in our modern day, you know, we eat as we want to eat. We live how we want to live. And our science is the byproduct of our disobedience. Well, I can eat how I want to eat, do what I want to do, because we have technology to overcome my disobedience. We have technology to overcome or supersede my disobedience. That's what 9 times out of 10 our technology is about. Our technology is about finding a way to prevent judgment, to overcome and supersede judgment. And so that's what this technology is all about. The merger of biology, technology, and spirit. And it will give people who have the ability to afford it, it will give them unparalleled power. It will give them unparalleled abilities. Being able to fly would just be the smallest things about this technology that's going to be introduced into our society. And they will be able to travel in and out of different realms, different places, different times, different dimensions. That's what this technology is going to be so far advanced that it'll blow our minds. It'll blow our minds because they know the powers that be, or this ancient being is talking to the powers that be and letting them know you cannot win. You will not win. It will be impossible for you to win, but you can find solace on a different planet or on a different place or on a different timeline or on a different dimension. And so this technology that they're creating, it will be very powerful technology. This technology that will be able to, you'll be able to be in one place and you'll be able to holographically project yourself into another place. Because this being understands the synopsis of our body and our brain. You know, it's a bunch of chemicals. Whether we realize it or not, our body truly is technology. It really is technology. We're just flowing. We're just talking about some of the things that we'll be able to see in the future. And one of the biggest things is this chip. Is this technology. And once you harness this technology, and once you flow in this technology, once you use this technology, it will become, it will feed off of biology, technology, and spirit. It will have three forces that will empower this technology. And they'll tell you this technology not only requires electrical components, but it will also require spiritual components, and it also will require biological components. You know, and maybe they will tell them, maybe they won't tell them, right? And so this technology will allow you to create force fields. This technology will allow you to run super fast. This technology will give you super strength, and it won't be vast. It won't be wide. And this all will become the plan of the beast system of the unholy Trinity. This is all the plan of the unholy Trinity to make us do what? To make us forget about God. You guys, and that's what the Spirit is saying. All of it is introduced into our society is to make us forget about God. It's to make us not even fear God. To make us not even honor God. This is one of the biggest things about this technology, is to make us forget about God. It is to make us to fear God. We're just talking about future events. And another thing, you know, that we will start to see here in the future, we're just talking about, you know, some of the things that the Spirit of God is just releasing, right? All of it is to make us forget. And another thing is that, you know, we I don't know if we have the technology already, but we will be able to live longer. We'll be able to live longer. Another thing is that we'll be able to live longer. Another thing, natural or what we think or believe as natural disasters, they will occur more and more. And one of the reasons why that these geo-engineered disasters, they are these disasters will be the byproduct of geoengineering. And one of the reasons for the geoengineering is to cause people to move to a particular place. They will start geoengineering disasters to, for one, decrease population, and for two, to cause people to move out of certain areas. Like right now, there are very high spiritual areas that we don't really know nothing about. Real high spiritual areas, like, for one, remember Azusa Street, right? That was a high spiritual area. But the problem is that they didn't have anybody there to actually be able to connect to that high spiritual area, because when you're in a high spiritual area or a high vibrational or high frequency area, you know, you'll be able to do miracles, natural signs, and natural wonders. That's why certain places God would tell his people, I want you to mark that area. I want you to mark this particular place, this particular spot, so that you can know that this is a high vibrational area, a high frequency area. Why? Because our planet, we call Earth, is alive. Again, you could take it and you're not going to take it. That's why sometimes God will tell you to move to a specific place, or let's go to a specific location, you know, go to here and go to there. Why? Because there are some areas that are high, and these companies want to be able to plug into the ground or dig into the ground and usurp the energy or the soul energy of the actual planet itself. And you say, well, that doesn't make sense. Probably doesn't make any sense. But we know that all of creation, is doing what? Is waiting. It's awaiting for the sons of God to arise, so that the creation itself can have somebody better, somebody stronger, somebody connected, you know, to harness its power. I'm sorry, creation itself. Yeah. Now y'all are not able to see these things in the scriptures, but they're there. Creation itself is waiting for the sons of God, somebody that creation itself can work with, can operate with, can function with, can use its power, its authority for good. A tomb used to work with creation. A tomb used to work with creation. A tomb used to work with every animal, every plant, every rock, every force, everything. A tomb used to work with everything. Every plant, every butterfly, every animal that you could possibly ever imagine. A tomb used to work with everything. A tomb used to speak to it all. And it would obey a tomb. Or Adam, right? I'm saying a tomb, right? And so what this geoengineered technology is about, it's about moving the people around away from these hot spots, away from these spiritual spots, right? Right? Because it's because of these spiritual spots, certain beings or certain forces are unable to access this realm because of these spots. And so that's why you would see Indians or different cultures or different people, they would get on a certain area. And when they would get on that certain area and they would practice their culture in that area, things would begin to grow. Things would begin to happen. Why? Because they're harnessing, the energy of the life of the soul of that area to cause it to produce or to work on its behalf. Okay? And so what this technology is about, it's about finding that land. It's about finding that energy. It's about finding that source. Because what they are trying to do is that they know that God is going to destroy all of the bad people. They know it. But they are all about trying to hinder it, trying to stop it. And so you're going to start seeing geo-engineered weather, animals, and it's going to be more and more. It's going to be more and more. You know, the Spirit of God says it's going to be more and more. Another thing that you're going to start seeing is that animals, are going to start acting real crazy and real funny more and more, because their technology is breaking the energy or the force that is naturally around us. A lot of animals are connected to the invisible forces of the technology, that's around us. And when you start messing with the technology around us that animals use, it disorients them. You're going to see a lot of animals disoriented. And these animals are disoriented because somebody is messing with their GPS, or rather with their technology. So when you see a disoriented animal or something in nature that's not operating properly, it's because somebody has tapped into the energy, the force. And once you tap into the energy, into the force, it disorients everything that is designed to operate and function and flow based on that force. And so that's the reason for some of these animals acting strange. You remember when the locusts and the frogs, how do you think God did that? Y'all got to truly understand that everything that God does, Hasatan creates a technology that mimics what God does. Are you getting this? That mimic what God does. God has the ability to take the technology and make every animal come to one place. How do you think all those animals got to Noah's Ark? Because of technology. Because of the invisible technology. God activated the technology over where he was, so that those animals, every animal that was supposed to be there, got there. And so when you see animals acting different, even your gardens, even your plants, even your fruits, even your vegetables, even your grass, depends on the technology. We don't know That everything depends on the invisible technology that we do not see. And when that technology is broken, when that technology is disturbed, when that technology is abused, when that technology is harnessed, that's why we can create a green room and create that technology. A green room is the byproduct of us learning from that technology and creating that same technology. When you create a green room, you're creating the technology. And so we're going to start seeing that more and more. You're going to start seeing that more and more. We're going to start seeing that more and more, you guys. You know, we're going to start seeing that more and more because they're not playing. These forces, these beings, they're preparing, and they're trying to weaken the technology that we naturally use. You guys, man, they're trying to weaken the technology that we naturally harness, that we naturally use, not so that they can win, but so that they can slow it down. Because we are slow to actual spiritual forces, actual spiritual energy. We're slow to that. And that's the fault of the church, because the church, because it doesn't want to operate spiritually, it decided that we would just forget about everything spiritual and just make you have good character, teach you how to act right, teach you how to pray, teach you how to lie, teach you how to act like you're an apostle, give you rules and regulations, while all the real apostles and all the real high vibrational frequency people or spirit filled people are left out to look like they are nothing. So that's one of the things that you're going to start seeing more and more. So when you start seeing these things on TV while everybody else is wondering why they're hurting like this and why they're doing these different things, is because somebody's interfering with the technology. So you can for sure look at animals and see how the animals are what they're doing, and look at them and watch them, and you know that somebody's messing with the natural technology of this realm, right? Another thing that you're going to start seeing is that more and more prodigies are going to start uprising. What did I see? I saw babies coming out as if they are more intuitive and highly in tune. Because once again, Hasatan, or the powers that be, is trying to mimic everything godly. Everything. And so one of the things that I saw is that there are going to be children, babies. They're going to come out highly intuitive, and they're going to start hijacking these babies to work for them. Okay? Okay, we're just talking. They're going to be able to see things that we don't see. They're going to be able to hear things that we don't hear. Why? Because they are not the byproduct of this system's programming. Many of us, we can't operate in our gifts because we are the byproduct of this system's control. We are. Many of us are. A lot of us are the byproduct of this system that we are in. And so you're going to start seeing prodigies. They're going to be able to play instruments. They're going to be able to work with agriculture. They're going to be able to control forces, natural forces. You're going to start seeing that, right? Kids, babies, children. Some other things that we're going to be able to see, in the future is that that we're already seeing. Technology is going to come out that that our food substance, it's no longer going to be about the natural processes of growing it and feeding it natural things and going through that whole process. More and more advocates for animals' rights are going to petition that it's going to petition that our food system is going to be null of the natural processes. It's going to be null of the natural processes. This is another thing that I saw. It's going to be null of the natural processes. It's going to be void of the natural processes. And as it relates to food, it's going to be null and void of the natural processes. In fact, I saw it was a McDonald's or it was a restaurant. I saw that when you order a burger, fries, it will print it up right there. It's not going to be a machine cooking the meat patty. It's not going to be a machine toasting the bread. It's not going to be a machine putting the lettuce, tomatoes, and the pickles, on it. It's going to print up the whole sandwich. It's going to print up the fries and everything. And everything that you're going to have in your bag is going to be the byproduct of ink, so to speak, or chemicals, so to speak. So that's another thing that in the future we're going to be able to see. We're going to see, everything is going to be, that's right, Crystal, for lack of a better term, everything is going to be artificial. A lot of things are going to be artificial, and this technology is going to print up your whole food. Another thing that I saw, in this future, this technology that we have, or that we're going to have the ability to tap into, it's going to allow us to make whatever we can think of. There's technology that's coming out. It's going to allow us to be able to make whatever we can think of. Whatever we can think of, you guys. Whatever you can think of, the technology is going to be able to manifest it like right there before your eyes. I saw that technology coming out. In fact, it really the world that I saw, it actually really looked like, you guys, I'm just saying, like a whole video game. Like everybody was in VR sets. It's like everybody was in VR sets. Everybody was in VR sets, and you were able to do whatever it is that you wanted to do, because the powers that be did not understand the forces that they were tapping into. And so because they did not understand the forces that they were tapping into, these forces decided that we are not going to allow you to tap into these forces. And because we are not going to allow you to tap into these forces, we're not going to even operate naturally anymore. I don't know if that really makes sense. I'm just You guys, I'm just releasing some things so that you can really know what to expect. Money, it will be gone in the sense of and again, these may just be careful observations. They may be predictions. They may be prophecies. I don't know. But our currency that we so heavily pride ourselves in, this Western world, this Western civilization, it will go away. It will go away. It will go all the way away. And there will be an introduction to a new currency, a new kind of currency. You guys, there will be an introduction to a new kind of currency, and that one's going to be really soon. You're going to have to turn in all your currency. You're going to have to turn in all your money, whatever it is. You're going to have to turn it on, and they're going to do a reset, and they're going to give everybody this new currency. They're going to give everybody this new money. This everybody. They're going to give everybody this new currency. And another thing, they're going to weed out these special interest groups. And what do we mean by special interest group? These secret societies, you know, and that's one of the purposes of making the money that we have powerless. They're making the money that we have powerless. And one of the things that making the money powerless is going to weed out these special interest groups. You know, like we call Illuminati, you know, and the Bone and Skulls, and, you know, the Freemasons, you know, all these groups. And they have a bunch of them. Well, they're in the process of weeding these people out. And if we make the money powerless, they'll come out. They'll have to come out. Because they don't want any other force stronger than them. They don't want any other force to have as much power as them. They're weeding them out. They're weeding all of them out. All of them they're weeding out. And another thing is that a lot of people who you think are right, a lot of people who you believe are right, you're going to start seeing some unusual and strange practices of these people and these individuals. And the thing about it is that they're not going to think it's strange, because they're going to create a society, a structure to where these things are going to be allowed for a particular time. Man, I saw that. That's crazy, y'all. Y'all, they're going to allow people in this, you know, like we got Christmas, and when we go, everybody expects everybody to do this same thing around Christmas time or whatever. They're going to allow for special circumstances to where people can practice what they believe. But these things are going to happen at particular locations and particular places. But it's going to be very vague, and it's going to be very subtle in how they implement it. And they're going to create doctors, psychiatrists to come forward and say, hey, this is why society is why it is, because of us not being able to practice those inner visions, those inner feelings, those inner emotions. These things are going to start coming out. It's going to start looking crazy. And it's going to look like the making of a great society, because people have this secure location that they can practice what they think and what they believe, and just let it all out. And it's almost like the purge, but it's not going to just be going around killing people. It's this, what I saw, is not going to be like that. It's going to be everything. Not just going around killing people. It's going to be everything. Now, I don't know if the purge is like that or not, but it's going to be everything. right? And it's another thing that's happening, right? And again, the technology, so that they can watch everything, the technology so that they can hear everything and seeing everything. That's now, I know we got the TVs and I know we got the phones and I know we got all of this equipment that they can hear us through and see us through, right? But it's going to become greater. It's going to become greater. What I saw was if you said anything, that was deemed alarming to this system and how it operates and functions and flow, they're gonna call you in, or you're gonna receive a phone call, you're gonna receive a text, and they're gonna ask you to explain, what it is and why it is that you said what you said, what it is and why it is that you did what you did. It's just gonna be, man, it's just gonna be such a heavy, controlled environment, right? Right? Okay. So some other things, that I saw is that I literally saw otherworldly beings. Not in a motion picture, not in a television program, but otherworldly beings. And it's going to become a natural occurrence. I saw those things. I saw those things. It's going to start coming out. Just like they came out with UFOs do exist. Now that UFOs do exist, what were they carrying? What would they bring in here? It's going to be a family that's going to come out, a group, a community. They're going to come out. And like we said, the technology is going to get more and more and more advanced. That your dreams are going to seem more realer than they already seem. But that's enough for now. That's enough for now. It's enough for now. Oh, they're also looking for a bloodline. You guys, they're also looking for a bloodline. A rare bloodline, a bloodline. They're looking for a real bloodline. They're looking for this bloodline, you guys. And I know it may sound crazy and strange, but they're looking for a bloodline. A pure bloodline. Because because we as people, we don't understand the power of blood, DNA. They're also looking for a pure and a rare bloodline, so they can make clones of that bloodline and make their own soldiers and make their own engineer their own weapons of destruction, engineer their own people. Man, people gonna have whole entire engineered families. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I love y'all, but I'm gonna get out of here. God told me once the sun starts to set, then it's time to get off of here. Listen, roll this thing back, take some notes. If you had anything to add to it, put it in the comments. Y'all comment. Y'all comment, because these some prophecies and some things that are coming to pass, and you got to know these things. A lot of the people have these same types of prophecies, but it's time for me to get off of here, and I got to obey. Listen, If God is calling you to come out, you need to come out. You need to come out. When God calls you to somewhere, you got to go. Because you don't know what's about to happen where you are at now. Listen, Jesus loves you, men and women of God, and so do I.